Hello and welcome to a special home staging episode today. So are you somebody who's been wondering where you can do your presentations and not really sure how to do a signature presentation? Well, presentations are one of your best marketing tools that you can do, and today I have three home staging experts on the show, and we're going to talk about presentations, where they've done them, and how they've worked. So in the next 30 minutes, you're going to get some really good tips and tools, and I even learned some things this morning about where presentations are being done that I hadn't really thought about. So my name is Dana Smithers, and I did write the book, Start and Run a Home Staging Business, and I was in the staging business for just over 10 years. I recently sold my home staging business and have dedicated my time to being a full-time coach. I coach a lot of home stagers, although I coach other solopreneurs as well in other businesses. I'm also a certified law of attraction trainer, so whenever I'm coaching, I'm always using the principles of the law of attraction, focusing on what people want to build their business. So today is very, very exciting. As I said, we've got three seasoned professional home stagers. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. They'll tell you a bit about themselves, their company, and the type of services that they offer, and then we'll go into talking about how they do presentations and get some really good tips about where they're taking presentations and the results that they're getting from it. So I would first like to introduce to the panel Sylvia, Dunn, and Sylvia, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Can I pass right now because I've got some noise going on behind me? And
okay, alrighty, then I'm going to go over. Sylvia, we'll come back to you. Miller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Dana. My name is Miller Shire, and my business is Space-Scapes. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, USA. And I have been in business for 13 years. I started out as a feng shui professional and in organizing, and I have since added interior decorating, and in the last 6 years I've been doing home staging, and actually that is a principal part of my business.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So I do all of those things that I just mentioned are still a part of my business.
Right, excellent. And Miller, do you do a lot of vacant staging, occupied? What's your primary client group?
It's about 50-50. And in the vacant staging, I often have the opportunity to use some of the client's possessions. If they've moved out, maybe they're downsizing, they're not taking everything. So sometimes it's totally vacant, partially vacant, and then often it might be an occupied consultation.
Right, very good. Okay, and I know in a smaller market it's sometimes a little bit of a challenge to find furniture for the vacants, because like other markets do have lots of rental companies. So do you shop for your clients then, Miller, and purchase items that way?
I have furniture available to rent that I've purchased.
Oh, okay.
So I have that. There are sometimes there are rental companies where I can get a few pieces of larger pieces of furniture, and I always have the accessories and the art.
Right. That's good. Yeah, and that's pretty standard for all stagers. So if anybody is new to the staging business, it's good to start with buying small bits of inventory, right? Accessories and bedding and art and things like that. Great.
Right.
Okay. Sylvia, are we good now?
we are good.
All right. So Sylvia, welcome.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Sylvia Dunn, business name is Home Staging Works, and we've been in business now for about 9 years here in Spokane, Washington. And we do vacant, we do quite a bit of vacant staging. So we have a warehouse with up to 30 homes of furniture and accessories, and
Wow.
loading around between houses and, you know, coming back to the warehouse and going back out again. I also do consultations for realtors and homeowners to help people get their homes ready to sell. We do redesign projects, and we do move-in services, so we're pretty busy.
Right, yeah. So Sylvia, I think the first time that we met, you had started in the master plan. I think we started in February. I thought you had 17 homes going that week. Now you've got 30?
Yeah, we probably picked up 5 or 6 more. So we had maybe 17 out at the time. But
Right.
Probably 25 out right now.
Wow. And you have, how many square feet is your warehouse?
1,800.
Yeah. So that's a good size.
Yeah. We're just looking for some more space. In fact, I was just working with a leasing agent to get more space.
Oh, that's fantastic. So in 9 years, different market. You're in Spokane, and do you do surrounding areas, or is it predominantly in Spokane?
Predominantly Spokane. We do Spokane Valley. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho is nearby, so it's only half an hour from us. We're right on the border. So we do staging in Coeur d'Alene. We do Rathdrum and Post Falls, Idaho, and we do down to Cheney. We even had a home in Moses Lake, which is a couple hours away. So we have the greater Spokane area, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. And Angela McKinnon. Angela, what I'd like you to tell the viewers is your company name, where you live, how long you've been in business, and the types of different services that you offer.
Okay. My name's Angela McKinnon, and my business is Home Dream Designs. I feel like I was born to do what I'm doing. I started off doing some decorative painting of furniture and houses and some interior design, and then I found out about the wonderful world of staging, and I thought it was perfect for me, and so I've been staging for about the last 5 years. Primarily in my area, it's occupied homes. Our sort of market is anywhere from about the average house price in my area is around the $500,000 mark, and I'm close. I'm about half an hour north of Toronto, where the average home price in Toronto is just over the $1 million mark, if you can believe that, for a single family home, which is pretty crazy, but similar to what you would experience out in Vancouver for sure.
Yeah,
Anna.
absolutely. Yeah, that's about the average. Some stats just came out about that. Yep.
Yeah, so I would say that the staging market is very big in Toronto and a little bit slower to come out to the area where I am. Agents in the past have not really staged properties, and we're still selling. But over the last couple of years, more agents are starting to use my services. I even have a fair bit of agents that are staging their own properties. So there's competition from them. And I guess that would be about all I would say about my business.
Good, excellent. Okay, so that's interesting what Angela was saying about the different markets. That I'm in the Vancouver, so I'm in the west coast of Canada, and our average home dwelling is $1 million now. So it's staging is very mainstream certainly in the bigger cities. You know, Toronto, Montreal. I don't know so much about Winnipeg. I can't say that. I did connect with a stager, a very successful stager, RESA award-winning stager, Jill Jargus in Edmonton, and unbeknownst to me, she has a very thriving market. So we can't always think, because of the size of the city, that staging isn't going on. In Vancouver, I was one of the first stagers, so that we're looking like 2002, 2003, 2004, and it took a while, but I would say that staging is more mainstream. You know, for us as home stagers, there definitely are people that think that they can do it themselves, but the stats that are coming out about the professional stagers support the work that we do. So as a stager, one of the requirements is that you get known out there to real estate agents, home sellers, certainly to market your business. So that's what we're going to talk about now. So Miller, I'm going to come to you and just ask you, how you got doing presentations, where you do them, how long, are they PowerPoint, are they, do you use storyboard? So just tell us how you've started, or you have been using presentations to build your business in Asheville, because it's a smaller market as well.
It is a small market, and it's there are a lot of realtors who are still learning about staging.
Yes.
And need to be educated about staging.
Mm-hmm.
There's so
And
many.
that's what presentations are for, right? Is to educate. Yeah.
Right. And there are just so many ways to have a meeting with a realtor, or maybe indirectly with a homeowner, and then directly with the homeowner when you're having a consultation. So I feel like you have to have several kinds of presentations available and in several different formats. Right. You might be meeting one-on-one with a realtor over coffee. You might be going to an open house that you've staged. And at that point, you get to talk to realtors who come through. Like a broker open house is what I'm thinking of. Or
yeah, so tell us about that, Miller. Tell us about that, because you just did one. I thought that was really, really clever.
I did. Well, I've done several with realtors. When a realtor has a broker open house, I've been there, which has been fantastic, because then they actually see the work that you do.
Absolutely.
The realtors who come in. But I did one recently with one of my networking groups through the Chamber of Commerce. So 22 people who've been hearing my story for
nice.
Over a year got to see the work. And there's such a difference in the vision, seeing it, feeling it, than just hearing it. They're amazed. And I've actually had 2 referrals from that group since, that was just a week ago.
Fabulous.
2 referrals since then. So that's been great.
Fabulous.
Then other opportunities are at the weekly sales meeting in a real estate office, at trade shows, and even through email. If you've met a realtor through social media, you might follow up with email. Therefore, in doing a presentation, you need everything from a PowerPoint to a flyer to storyboards, because you often get into a situation where you don't have access to be able to show a PowerPoint, right. And you absolutely have to have that visual.
Right.
In fact, I have a criteria of about 5 things that I feel like have to be included in any presentation.
Excellent. And did you want to share those, or have people contact you if you want to know what those are?
I mean, I'll be happy to share them. Sure.
Okay.
And they can contact me for more details if they would like.
Perfect. Perfect.
First of all, we have to paint a vision. You know, not only what staging is, but what it can do for the
right.
seller and for the real estate agent. Gary Keller once said that staging is both a beauty contest and a price war. And I use that so much. Thank you, yeah. Gary Keller. It is, whether the market is going up or the market is going down, that's so true. Whether it instigates bidding or it stabilizes the price, it right. is really valuable anytime. We also have to state the facts, but facts can be so boring, you know, statistics. So I like to put them in a graph. So once again, it's a visual. We need to talk about the benefits to the real estate agent, why they should use a stager, how that can be so valuable to have a stager on their team, as well as the benefits to the seller. And obviously we have to have the before and after pictures,
right?
Because there's nothing that tells the story like, you know, look at how this changed.
Right.
And then testimonials from both realtors and from homeowners, sellers.
Perfect. Excellent. Great. Thank you so much, Miller. I really appreciate that. I think all of those points are certainly key, and we're going to talk a little bit about signature presentations. But just before we started the Hangout, Miller and I were laughing a bit because, like many stagers, we forget to take those before pictures. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I've done it. I'm sure that all the ladies on the panel have done it. Viewers have done it as well. But, you know, it's almost like we need to tattoo on our arm, okay, take photos before, because that's what tells the story, right? And the worse it is, the better we love it, right? Excellent. Thanks so much, Miller. Sylvia, let's just go on to you. I know you have a different market, so your approach will be a bit different, but obviously you have used presentations to grow your business. So would you share how you've gone about that and some of your clients that you do that with?
Sure. I mean, I started out cold calling realtors, actually. So, I mean, I had really nothing, and I was just kind of winging it. So I and introducing myself, and I would go online and I would look at a home online that was not staged. I'd call that realtor for that home and say, hey, I just saw your home. Would you be interested in services? And, you know, so the whole thing started when I ran into talking to a realtor who said, yeah, we actually use a stager, but she's quite expensive, and so, you know, if you'd like to give us a bid. And then I did, and he tried to get me in with his brokerage where he worked at Keller Williams, and they talked to me, but they were pretty happy with who they had, and that was fine. So I just moved on, started meeting other realtors that way. Then eventually that stager was no longer working for them, and they called me up. So you never know. It was a couple years later.
Fabulous.
You know, by that time, you know, my business had started taking off. But I was terrified to talk in front of realtors. I was, and I'm sure most people are. I was terrified to talk to anybody. I think what helped me most is P&I meetings, going to networking meetings, getting to know a small group of people, and practicing my presentation. Because that helped me be able to feel comfortable with what I had to say. Because it, you know, where do you start? And so then I could start putting together my portfolio of before and after pictures.
Excellent.
And that I was able to put them on a PowerPoint presentation. And as I just kept adding to it and building it, I felt like my confidence would build, and I'd go and talk to small groups. And now when, you know, when I talk to any realtor who's new, like this happened 2 days ago, I was working with a realtor I had never worked with before, and I had not done a presentation at that office where she worked, and so I just told her that, you know, if you ever have your monthly meeting and you need a speaker, I'd be happy to come, because she was impressed with what we were doing. And so, you know, I just put it out there every chance I get, and word of mouth. Sometimes one realtor is talking to another. So it's just growing, and now I'm very comfortable because I have it all organized. And so, and I have it down to a science. And I have before and after pictures. Most of the time I just have chat. I'm not reading off of anything. I'm just talking informally, and that seems to work better. And then I always leave room for questions at the end.
Right.
So there oftentimes there's questions, and I always offer tips and free advice, and don't worry about giving anything away, because you know, the more information I could share with them, the more of an expert that I am for them, and the more I can show them how I can be a partner with them, and help them market their homes. And they could worry about doing the marketing part. I could worry about doing the you know, helping the homeowner understand why they need to stage a certain way, or bringing that furniture in to showcase the property. So
yeah, that's really excellent. And I think, you know, all of those points are really good. That, you know, if you're a bit nervous about doing that big presentation, right, which could even be a stage presentation, which we're going to talk to Angela about that, but you know, just going networking, getting your infomercial down, understanding what makes a good infomercial, what they're interested in. And Sylvia, I'd like to tell that story about, I think we were going to do a mastermind, and you were just called the day before. I'm not sure. I think you missed a mastermind because you had to go out and do a presentation.
Yeah, at the last minute, I got a call from I guess the person that they had coming in to do whatever it was. I'm sure it was another industry coming into the office, and they had dropped out. So one of the realtors suggested that they call me, and so it was last minute.
Yeah.
So once it's all put together, you don't have to worry about, like, you know, it was the day before, so I could just grab the stuff I had already prepared. And I always bring coupons for, you know, $25 off. I have a little, in fact, I have it here. So I have this little coupon that's like $25 off a consultation. So I bring these little postcards with me. So the realtors who hadn't worked with me before are able to grab my flyer, my PDF of a front and a back page that they could put in their listing packets.
Excellent. Yeah.
So I have everything ready for them. So we don't need to, because they're busy. They're just as busy as we are. They're crazy busy. So the easier I can get that information into their hands, and the easier they can present it to their clients.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So, yeah, that's great. And I know you work a lot with Keller Williams. It's good to, you know, have a very strong relationship with one or two real estate companies, but them, you know, that's such a compliment for them to be able to call you, have you come in, but you've got that signature presentation done. So with just changing a few names on it, you could actually do it at any brokerage firm. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about how the law of attraction is working here, because definition of of the law of attraction is I attract to my life whatever I put my attention, energy, or focus on, whether wanted or unwanted. So Sylvia, Miller, and Angela, are attracting presentations, talks, opportunities with realtors, libraries, those sorts of things, because they put it out there. So one of the things that you might want to think about doing is get really focused on where you'd like to do a talk, who you'd like to do it with, and then take some action. As Sylvia said, she started her business by cold calling. Now, not that many people would do that. I'm a bit more, I used to do cold calls when I was in the corporate, so I like doing warm calls now, but I'm a very big networker, so that's usually where I'm meeting people. But, good for you, but having that presentation there just, was fabulous, because you look like you are the expert, right? You've positioned yourself as the expert in your market, so that's great. Angela, now you have been working on some things in the past month or so. So tell us about how you got those opportunities and what they were.
Well, very similar to Sylvia, sort of when I was starting out, I had no experience with networking at all, because my background was in dentistry, and I had never had to promote a business. So I started going to networking groups and started contacting realtor offices to see about doing a presentation, and that's where I had made some great connections. Even if you had a small group, there was always, and I'm thinking 6 or 7 realtors in the beginning, I would always get follow-up business from them. So even if it was smaller, there were still opportunities to get your name out there. And I had started with PowerPoint presentations. My first one was about creating a great first impression, because we know universally that's important, not just in staging when you're trying to sell your house. It's when you meet people, it's any kind of business. So that was kind of my jumping off point. And I used props. I did bring before and after photos, but I also brought a little coffee cup and a donut and a throwaway napkin. And then I did a beautiful tea service with fresh flowers.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Handmade cookies, and just to say it's still a cup of coffee, no matter how you take it. But wouldn't you rather be having the cup of coffee from the
that's
beautiful
perfect.
china mug and flowers, and so I did that a couple of times, because no one, it's different realtor offices, so you just get better and more comfortable. And probably in the beginning I was very nervous and had little cue cards and didn't make great eye contact, but as I got better at it and was more comfortable, then I was kind of able to ad lib and to put more experiences and to put some before and after pictures. So that's kind of how I got started doing the presentations. And then more recently, I had been asked, I had called, the Chamber of Commerce was doing a home show in our area, and I'm in a community probably of about, I don't know how many people live in my area, but it's basically a small town. So the home show would probably get maybe 2,000 to 3,000 people max. I didn't hear back from them for a little while, and then about a week or two before the home show, they got around to calling me back and said, okay, you can do the presentation in a week and a half. So I had to really, I worked with Dana quite in a very short time frame to come up with a presentation that would be home show worthy and would be for the general public, because for the most part I was doing presentations to realtors, not so much to just the homeowners. So I after some technical difficulties with the presentation, and really I started to get nervous, and then I thought, you know what, even though it hasn't gone as it was supposed to, I'm still going to pretend that everything was going smoothly, and if people were sitting down and kind of walking by, I found that my voice projected to the back of the room, so I felt like I was speaking to the whole arena where the home show was being held. So, and it's funny, I've been a couple places since the home show, and people said, "Oh, we saw you on TV," and I was like,
"Oh,
TV?
I love that."
I don't think I was on TV, but just from putting it on my social media and Twitter and Facebook, and then other people sharing it and commenting on it, and so that was kind of fun. And they had an Ask the Expert corner there, so they asked me to be an Ask the Expert. which was fun, and getting to talk to the general public as well about their concerns, because I'm doing home staging, but I also would like to grow the redesign part of my business over the next couple of years. And then I had approached some libraries and some church groups, and I'm getting in their schedule, because usually those types of businesses have planned, things here will sort of end in June for a lot of people that the summer holidays start, and their networking speakers kind of finish in June and then start up again in September. So even though I might not have any opportunities over the summer, exactly. I will again in the fall and next spring. And next spring, really, the presentation that I did this spring, I'll just use that again, and it's still current. I can just change it up for the color trends or whatever the new color of the year is, and still use basically the same presentation. So, the hard work went into the beginning, but then it's easy to update it as you go along and insert new photographs, and as you grow in your business, to put in different information. Right. So once you have the template.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks very much, Angela. And when Angela was also doing the library talk, the nice thing about libraries or home and garden shows is they will promote you. So that's a big bonus, because, or even if you do start to do some presentations, or I can remember I used to do one day, maybe 6-hour training of home decorating on a budget or something like that, and I would have a PowerPoint. But the nice thing about it, if I did it with the school board or a community center, they broadcasted it. So, that was such a benefit. And I think them saying that they saw you on TV, I just kind of go, go along with it, because, social media is a very, very powerful tool. So that's just great.
Well, the library did say that they had promoted it through their e-zine, I guess, which is their their newsletter, their e-newsletter, and it had gone out to 1,000 members in a small in a small town. So
and it all of those things, it just simply takes time for people to get to know you. But again, you've got to take the action, you've got to put it out there, and once you've got a signature talk together, start looking for the opportunities to use that, because as Angela said, it's really easy to, I'll use this for next year. I'll just change up the color of the year, the trend, whatever that's going to be, right? But most of the other material can stay the same. Staging statistics will change possibly slightly, but not that much. So, and when you're doing a talk, as Angela did, it wasn't entirely focused on staging. It was focused on home decorating, so she gets to sell her other services as well, because that's part of what you want to do in your presentation, even if it is decorating or color trends or home staging or redesign, which is using people's furnishings and creating a new look. Often in one day, there might be some shopping that goes on with it, but you want to let people know that you do other services as well. And so, Angela, I think you had made up a flyer as well. Did you do that?
I'm actually, the library had made up a flyer, and then I had made up some postcards similar to the one that Sylvia had, where I was offering actually $50 off to new agents. And going around, I would distribute those at the presentation, or I did another trade show recently too, and so I partnered.
Tell us about that trade
painter.
Show.
I partnered with a painter, and it's with CertaPro, which is a franchise organization. So they buy a territory, depending on what they want to spend, sort of thing, and then they get all the calls from a 1-800 number. They get directed to them. So he had asked me would I come to the trade show with him, and he started really promoting that he would offer a designer consultation to help differentiate his services from other painters in the area. So so I would come out. He would pay for the first hour for me to come out, and then if the homeowner wanted additional help or additional services, it was a great, amazing opportunity to then get in and say, and by the way, did you need help with window coverings or with artwork or with furniture? Or even though I thought, well, he was paying me $100 for that consultation, which I would have liked an hour and a half or maybe slightly more than that. But then I thought, you know what, this is getting my foot in the door.
Absolutely.
And then if I can't sell other services, and of course I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once I'm in the home, of course I can. So.
Right. Yeah, and the same with when you do your talks or your presentations, whether they're to a small group or a large group. I remember the first library talk that I did, there were 100 people there at the library. It was our biggest library here, and I loved it. I did a PowerPoint, but I kind of like getting on a stage, so for me it wasn't fearful. It was fun. I had done a lot of that in corporate anyway, but from that one library, then about 6 other libraries called me because they're always looking for people to do presentations, and it was easy enough to flip it up seasonally, right? We've all got pictures that we can do. But one thing I wanted to mention that I think is important if you're doing presentations at home and garden shows or design shows or even libraries or community centers are a good place as well. They always plan those about 6 months ahead. So just like what you said, Angela, you've got your foot in your door, so you want to make sure that you follow up and let them know, yeah, you're ready for the fall, right? Probably that's already starting, and then they're going to be looking for the spring. So, you have to contact them sometimes earlier. But in the case of Sylvia Dunn, who's got her, great strategic alliance, it's like, okay, can you come in tomorrow? And it's like, yeah, I can. So that's really great. So, yeah, so really wonderful information, and I am just so delighted to have Miller, Angela, and Sylvia on this show today. I'm going to be doing several more of these Google Hangouts with home stagers because we are brilliant women, and we are providing a service that is absolutely necessary for home sellers, and we are a realtor's best marketing partner for sure because of what we can do. And as Angela said, when you get in there, if a realtor is paying for that first consultation and it's $100 or $200 or $300 or whatever, it depends on your market, absolutely upsell, but honor that time that they've given you and give your client or their client as much as you can, because they very likely can become a client as well. And when you do that presentation, people will remember you. They will, it might not be right away. So I always say also with the law of attraction, focus on what you want, but remember there are a lot of things that have to get in alignment with you doing your talk or you meeting certain people to grow your business. So, look for the evidence of, yeah, it's growing, people are talking to you. Maybe you didn't have 100 people at your presentation, but I always say you probably had the right ones there, so it's a good way to look at it that way. So just before we wrap up, I would like to, Sylvia, I'm just going to have you pop in here for a minute. So tell our viewers if any are, we could have realtors watching this because this will be uploaded to YouTube. Tell us again what services you offer and how people can get a hold of you.
We offer consultations for realtors and homeowners. So we go in for up to 2 hours. We'll go in and help a homeowner prepare the extra services on top of that. And then we also have vacant staging. So we'll go in and to an empty home and fully furnish, accessorize that home before there's marketing photos. And then we do redesign services for homeowners. We also do move-in services. So we offer coupons or certificates for realtors to give to their clients. Say they're a buyer's agent, and so they can present that as so.
Very nice, great. Thanks so much, Sylvia. And that's her website, homestagingworks.com. Thank you, Sylvia. Miller.
I could ditto Sylvia. I actually offer all of those same services. Consultations, I'm happy to go beyond the standard consultation and help them hands-on if they want more help with that. Vacant staging, and I am a feng shui practitioner, so I bring that to the table.
Wonderful.
Something that I use in my regular staging business. I think coupons are also important. I am doing a broker open house next week, and I will have coupons there for every realtor who comes through. And there are about 8 open houses in this one community next week.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
So it's exciting that I'll be there to introduce realtors to what I've done and give them a coupon.
Excellent. That's fabulous. Congratulations. Thank you. Angela, now we didn't get your website up there, so tell people how they could find you, what your website URL is.
My website URL is www.homedreamdesigns.ca, and I offer, very similar services to what Miller and Sylvia were talking about. And I've actually changed kind of what I'm doing as my walk and talk. I'm going to do a little bit more of a hands-on and offer that I will bring an assistant with me for the consultation fee and do some moving around while I'm there, or give them a choice if they want a follow-up report. I can do that as well, which I currently do right now. And then I'm going to do a bit of a walk and talk plus, which is a couple of more hours for an increased fee, and then also a mini makeover. I'm finding, because there are agents in my area that are doing some staging, they want just kind of a mini makeover as opposed to more involved. So I'm happy to offer that as one of my services too.
Yeah, because we have to look at what the market is. And Angela, I know you and I talk about your trips to France and Italy. So why don't you tell now, are you going to have any more trunk shows, or is that possible?
I'm actually going to I'm going to Paris in June for 10 days. So I probably and then I'm going to the Amalfi Coast in September. So I think probably when I come back, I will have. I'm contemplating taking an empty suitcase to Paris.
Definitely.
Yeah, to bring some items back. So I think I probably would do that again in the fall, because it was great just before Christmas, and I had a couple of other vendors come into the house, and I got rid of some staging items as well that I wasn't using anymore, that were still in great condition. So it was fun, and it gets your name out there, and I got to talk to people that normally wouldn't know about my services. So
excellent.
I probably will do that again too.
Yeah, that's great, because I remember reading that on your blog, and Paris has great flea markets as well, and antique fairs and all of that. But then again, you have to look at what can you bring back in your luggage, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All right.
But then you can ship it too. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. It's nice to have that opportunity to be able to travel and see what other things, especially if you want to be a little bit ahead of the trend. Definitely France and Europe. Is always a little bit more ahead of us. Well, that's the Hangout with Dana show for today. So I really hope that you've got some tips here. And again, thank you, Sylvia, Miller, and Angela. It's been an absolute pleasure. And for any of you that want to check out any of the programs that I offer, you can go to empowerwomeninbusiness.com/programs. These three ladies were in one of the last masterminds that I did. So we had a great time focusing on specific issues, and they got to know one another, and we got to understand each other's businesses. So that's been very successful. And if you're looking for a coach, whether you're starting out stuck, or just maybe even starting over in a business and home staging or decorating appeals to you, then I would love to have that complimentary coaching session with you. So ladies, I'm going to say goodbye, and say goodbye to our viewers, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.